Okay, where are we in the flow chart? We have covered taking out a greatest common factor. We have covered what to do if it has two terms. After you factored out the greatest common factor, we've talked about the difference of two squares and how to factor that. And if it's not the difference of two squares, then right now we don't know what to do with it if it just has two terms, other than difference of two squares. We've talked about the sum of two squares not being factorable, not with real numbers anyway. We've talked about what to do if it has three terms, and we answer yes to it being a perfect square trinomial. I'm sorry, I gotta sneeze. Sorry about that. But what if it's not a perfect square trinomial? If it's not a perfect square trinomial, it looks like we have a new question to ask. So we know that it is a trinomial. Okay, because we said that it has three terms, so we know it's a trinomial. It's not a perfect square trinomial, so now we have a new question. And the new question is A 1? Does A equal 1? The coefficient of the first term, they're asking you right here, does A equal 1? Okay, so let's give an example. Let me give you an example. X squared plus 4x plus 3. Does it have a greatest common factor? The answer is no. The answer is no. How many terms does it have? 3. Is it a perfect square trinomial? The answer is no. Is the coefficient of the first term equal to 1, or does A equal 1? In this case, A is 1, B is 4, C is 3. You should do that automatically. Is A 1? The answer is yes. Since the A is 1, this is going to be what we call the easy way. And the easy way is going to be, I call it the easy table way. I do a table that contains factors, and then I do a side that says sum, and I put 4 in parentheses right here. Actually, I could put 3 right here. So we're going to find the factors of C. We're going to find the factors of C, and we're going to find the sum of B. So we're going to start by finding factors of 3. So 1 times 3. Oh, well, that's easy, because 1 times 3, the factors of 3, they're only 1 and 3. So 1 times 3. And now we're going to see what the sum of these two factors are, and we're hoping that it's 4. So 1 plus 3 gives me 4. Since I got 1 times 3 gives me 3, and 1 plus 3 gives me 4, then I have the pair of factors that I need. So that means that this trinomial is going to factor to be, you put the roots of x squared, x and x, and then you put the factors of 3, 1 and 3. And it doesn't matter, you could put the 3 here and the 1 here. It doesn't matter which one you put it. But since this 3 right here is a positive, we know that the only way to get a positive answer to a multiplication problem is that we multiply a positive 3 times a positive 3, or a negative 3 times a negative 3. Negative 3 times a negative 1. So we could have also multiplied negative 1 times negative 3. That will also give me 3. But the sum of negative 1 and negative 3 would give me negative 4. I don't want the sum to be negative 4. I want the sum to be positive 4. So that means that the two numbers that I multiplied together have to be a positive 1 and a positive 3. So I've just factored that problem. Clear as mud. Let's do it again. Let's do x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay. Does it have a greatest common factor? No. How many terms does it have? 3. Is this a perfect square trinomial? No. 12's not a perfect square. Is the leading coefficient 1? Yes. Factor it the easy way. That means I'm looking for factors of 12, but at the same time I'm looking for factors of 12, I need the sum of those factors to be 7. So factors of 12. 1 times 12 gives me 12, but 1 plus 12 gives me 13. I need it to be 7. And I'm looking for a positive 12, so I could also include some negative numbers in there. What else? 6 times 2. 6 times 2 gives me 12, but 6 plus 2 gives me 8. I need it to be 7. So let's try another one. What about 3 times 4? 3 times 4 gives me 12, and 3 plus 4 gives me 7. So this is the pair that I need right here. It gave me the 7. So that means I'm going to come over here, and this is going to be x, and this is going to be x, and this is a positive 3, and this is a positive 4. So I know that this trinomial right here is the result of factoring. The factors of this trinomial is x plus 3 times x plus 4. If I multiply x plus 3 times x plus 4, I will get x squared. You can check your work by using the box method. And this would be x squared, this would be 3x, this would be 4x, and this would be 12. And you would combine those two together, and you get x squared plus 7x plus 12. So this is the factorization of that. I'm going to do another one. This time, I'm going to do one with a minus sign. Okay, I'm going to be going down the same path of the flowchart. So this time, x squared minus x minus 12. Okay, so the flowchart, does it have a greatest common factor? Nope, I can't take there's no 1, 1, and 12. How many terms are there? 3. Is it a perfect square trinomial? No, 12 is not a perfect square. So is the leading coefficient, or is the a equal to 1? Yes, the a is equal to 1. Then that means it's an automatically one of those that make what we call an easy table. A factor of negative 12 and a sum of negative 1. So I need numbers that multiply together to give me negative 12. Well, it could be negative 1 times 12. That would be negative 12. But then I would say negative 1 plus 12, and that would be 11. I need it to be negative 1. So I could do it the other way. Positive 1 times negative 12. That'll multiply to give me negative 12. But then I do positive 1 minus 12, and that gives me a negative 11. Okay, so I'm still looking for a negative 1. So let's try 6 times negative 2. That gives me negative 12. And 6 plus a negative 2, that's going to give me 4. I can do it the other way around. That still gives me negative 12, but a negative 6 plus 2, that's going to give me a negative 4. So what about 3 times negative 4? That multiplies together to give me negative 12, but a positive 3 plus a negative 4, that gives me a negative 1. Oh, that's the one that I want. So these are the factors that I'm going to use. So x plus 3 and x minus 4. Okay, that's what we call the easy kind. You just have to mentally make this list. When you are first doing this, practicing this, I do want to see the list. If you already know what it is, then your list only has to be, one pair of numbers long. If you can look at that and say, oh, that needs to be a positive 3 and a negative 4, then start with the positive 3 and a negative 4 up here, and you don't have to do any more. But I need to see that you have found the factors of negative 12 and that you have found that sum to be negative 1. I need to at least must see this in your table. Okay, that's going to be, I'm going to ask you to show your work, and that's how I'm going to ask you to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this one, and I will start my next video with one that has a GCF.